Look at all the people here tonight!
Hey. Oh. Hey, what's up? Fran Capitanelli, totally into the sound. Want to tell you about my first concert. Here's the shirt. The actual shirt. We all had a first concert that we went to. It's a special time. It fit up until a few years ago. Us 83 was the second Us Festival. There's the lineup. But before you get too excited, I didn't get to go to the best day. I didn't get to go to Metal Day. No, my parents said no.
No, we don't think you should go to that one.
I was able to go to the Saturday, which had The Clash. The Stray Cats were amazing. Everybody was really pretty good, except for Flock of Seagulls. Sometimes when you're playing an outdoor gig, you can't see the lights on the tuner and you'll tune to the wrong note. I remember seeing all these Van Halen shirts one day. And I was like, did Van Halen play? Yeah, they played last night at the Forum. I was like, man, how do you even know? Probably at that point in the Diver Down tour, I wasn't going to be able to go anyway. 12. By the time I was getting to be 13, we lived in Los Angeles. Fast Times at Ridgemont High just came out. We were in the epicenter. And then one day I saw an advertisement for this show, the Us Festival. And Van Halen was going to be headlining, and I was like, oh, that's the one. And I told my parents.
I want to go to this show.
And I asked my brother, Michael, if he would take me. The Sunday was Metal Day. And it was just like stocked. Quietriot, motleycrue, Ozzy, Judaspriest, Triumph, Scorpions, and Van Halen. The only thing they're really missing in there is Iron Maiden. Quietriot, they got added to the bill because motleycrue was getting too big to open the show.
We only knew we were going to be playing for you all a couple days ago.
You get a call like, oh, we've got a gig for you. It's the Us Festival. You're opening up for all these bands. It was going to break them, and it did. Their album ended up being the first #1 metal album.
Now we're going to be back in Los Angeles next month. We're going to be playing June 24th, the Forum with ZZ Top. When I count to 3, I want you guys to scream so loud that your throats are gonna bleed. 1, 2, 3!
You can't go to that. I don't want you to go see that Us Festival show, Van Halen.
It's like, Dad, you already promised. You can't give me that and take it away. Well...
As the weekend was getting closer still, I was like, well, let me go to the Saturday and see the New Wave Day. And he was like,
New Wave Day? Well, you don't like any of those bands.
I was like, well, how do you know what I like and what I don't like? I do like some of them.
and in all honesty, the New Wave Day, it paled in comparison to the Metal Day. You had some great bands. I mean, The Clash, all the headliners were stellar. You wanted to see The Clash, Van Halen, David Bowie headlined the last night. But on the first day, it was a lot of bands that I could kind of give or take.
Okay, this is
instrumental. Thank you for the Grammy. This is D-N-A.
I just wanted to go to a concert. Stray Cats were awesome. I couldn't believe that they could hold it down with a three-piece and such minimal instruments. Slim Jim Phantom. He had a snare, drum, a kick, and a ride. That's it. And they killed it. Of course, you got Men at Work. At that point in the 80s, Men at Work is huge. English Beat, awesome. In Excess, I still love. And I liked them then. They had a big hit at the time. And the Divinals, to really get you riled up at the beginning of the day. The Clash were great. They just took an hour and a half to get on stage because they were holding out for more money. They wanted to get the same rate as David Bowie and Van Halen were getting, $1.5 million.
All right, you can go.
And I was nervous. We walked like 2 miles to get to the fairgrounds, and we had to charge the tickets. I forgot the tickets from our parking spot to get. So we had to walk 2 miles back to get the tickets, and then 2 miles forgot the tickets. So before the day even started, we walked 6 miles back. And because I missed the metal day, there was always this void in my life. And the rock and roll universe made it up to me later. I found myself after the fact watching that show and all the shows from the US Festival incessantly on YouTube and on VHS bootlegs before there was YouTube. Kevindubrow, he had the whole place under his thumb.
Well, if we got some real headbangers here today, Mr. Rudy says you can do it better. Come on, you headbangers, if you really want some metal, I want you to scream it so loud, there's gonna be blood curdling on your veins. 1, 2, 3! Like a laser, 6-string razor, I got a mouth like an alligator.
Rudy Sarzo was the bass player for Ozzy when Randy Rhoads died. Randy Rhoads got him into the band, and then he left and went back to Quietriot, where him and Randy had started from. And then Quietriot had all this success.
Bang your head. That'll help to drive you mad. All right.
Just giving it all to you.
Got the voice to make the noise.
He puts on a show. I remember when I was working at a video store in Palm Desert, California, and he would come in there to rent movies, and he would be in a full red leather jumpsuit with the zipper that went down past the crotch, and he'd be renting movies. He does stuff with the bass that you're like, well, I've never seen anyone do that. I don't know if it's absolutely necessary, but he definitely took the time to get it right.
Rudy Sarzo on bass guitar. Now bang your head. Wake the dead. We're all mental men. It's all your head. I want you to sing it.
Whenever the guitar player is doing a solo in a metal band, the singer's got to come over and grab some of the attention. And of course, Judas Priest. Robhalford rides his motorcycle onto the stage from behind Marshall cabinets that open up like swinging doors in a saloon. That's how they start the show. Pretty impressive sight. I've only seen one other person do that, and it's Butchwalker as a tour prank at the Fox Theater in Oakland, opening up for Train.
All right. Yeah. Going down.
Let's straight to stage level.
The next day at school, after, the word at school was, oh, well, Van Halen, they weren't very good. Dave forgot the words. He was wasted. They weren't good. The Scorpions, they killed it. They were the band. The Scorpions, they also put on a show. And you kind of get the impression like they practiced some of this, the antics beforehand, and that they took a couple pages out of the Van Halen book. They're definitely gonna form some kind of pyramid or something at the end. Rudolphschenker, he's always got his mouth open. The cover of Blackout is just one of the classic album covers with the spoon forks in the eyes and his mouth as wide open as possible. You get the feeling that Klaus Meine, he really wants to jump off the drum riser and do the splits, but he can't do it, because nobody can do it. I've never seen anyone else do what David Lee Roth does, acrobatically. Klaus Meine's got another thing that he does, where he's gonna kind of jump off and do a tumble.
Second in line. Wow, son of a gun.
forgot the words. He was wasted. You know, the singers, they're always trying to talk to the crowd, and they end up saying,
Hey! You're looking good today! You feeling healthy and hot? I've got a question for you. We came back home to do one thing in particular. One sort of music that is indigenous to people who know what it's all about. Do you know what kind of music that might be? Might that be a bit of metal?
Ow! Hey, how you feeling but now? This song right now is how this place is right now. Hey, how you feeling but now? Hey, how you feeling but now? This song right now is how this place is right now.
Right now, this time tonight, more people have been arrested today than the entire weekend last year, man. I'm gonna move my microphone back just a second right here. I say, I got to make an announcement right here. Can you hear me out there? When the band gets to have a drink right here, I say, is everybody having a good time so far right here? Is there anybody stoned here this evening? I say,
Every time we play, it's a fucking madhouse.
breaking the what? Breaking the what? Breaking the what? Breaking the what?
Hey, how you
One
feeling
sort of
but now?
music that is indigenous to people who know what it's all
This song right
about.
now is how this place is right now.
clearly Dave is wasted. But it doesn't matter. He's got that scream. But there's no doubt, David Lee Roth, he's the master of ceremonies. He is a sight to see. And you may not condone everything he's doing, but you can't take your eyes off of him because he's just about to do something you've never seen anyone do before. When Van Halen comes on, they are the kings of that day. The crowd is going crazy. And they just sat through 8 other metal bands in 100-degree weather. And they're all getting wasted. Dave, he does a harmonica solo in the full bug, and it sounds like he's playing in the wrong key. He's got the wrong key of harmonica. Because they tune down to E flat. But it sounds like he's got a harmonica that's in E. So he's a half step off.
Mama mia, and Papa mia, God bless the child.
And so the people in the crowd are like, oh yeah, well, we recognize this.
Hey, how you feeling now? 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 Hey, how you feeling now?
Blood coursing on your veins! 1, 2, 3!
You know, they all take a solo. things can go wrong. You can't have Van Halen without Michaelanthony. There can't be a bass player in Van Halen that's going crazy because all the other stuff's going crazy around it. Somebody needed to stay at home and watch the kids. In rock and roll, it's hard to do. Now, if you're Jaco Pastorius, you got it nailed. He does this like delay thing that's kind of like cathedral. The bass goes out. And he calls for another one. And the roadie is kind of like, he's not getting it to him quick enough. Gives him a, come on, let's go. And the roadie gets pissed off and he throws his bass down on the ground in front of him like, here you go. He looks at the crowd, he gives one of these, and it takes him about 2 seconds to recover before he picks up the bass again and starts going crazy and finishes his solo. A true professional. Fran Capitanelli, totally into the sound. How about subscribing? What do you say? Whoosh.
Hey, how you feeling now? 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 Hey, how you feeling now?
Blood curdling on your veins. 1, 2, 3.